I'm here talking to Maura. She's the filmmaker behind a short film called Who, a really interesting short film actually. And congratulations and welcome to Nice.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
So yeah, if you could introduce yourself and then just tell us or give us a brief synopsis of the film, that would be great. Thank you.
Okay. Well, I've been in the acting world. I'm Maura Sinkins, as you know.
Yeah.
I've been in the acting world for many, many years. My whole life has been in the acting world. And gotten into the producing side of things now as well. So just through the years, the meeting of people on the streets. I've lived in New York and I've lived in Canada. And such interesting characters I've met along the way. And it just has fed me through the years of the different people and the different ideas I had, and decided to put this one in particular together.
I know you're going to tell us about it, but just very quickly, so is the character you play a mashup of people that you kind of know or been introduced to?
I've met different people, and yes, I've gotten pieces of ideas from this one and that one, and just in observing, and then put it together with my character.
Right.
Put it all together.
Right.
Yes.
Okay. And
great fun.
Yeah. And so what? Yeah. So if you could just give us an idea of what this, how would you? Because it's not. Part of me feels it's kind of a docudrama really, because it's kind of a hybrid, isn't it? This is my opinion. I mean, I might be wrong.
Okay.
But that's how it feels. It's neither a short film per se, narrative feature,
yes,
or a documentary. Am I sort of wrong there? But you kind of splice two genres together.
Well, I guess some people might look at it that way, sure. I hadn't thought of it as a documentary, but it's certainly a comedy, but with a bit of a serious side to it as well along the way.
Yeah.
Yes, showing the other different sides of this woman.
Yeah, and
the character Doreen.
Yeah, and also
yes,
the underbelly, and there is the twist at the end.
Yes.
I knew that because we'd spoken before and I'd seen it,
yes,
most of it before. I knew the ending.
Where she really comes from.
Yeah. Have you actually worked that out completely, or are you still juggling with that?
I will probably. I'm seriously thinking of making it into more of a feature, which will show even more sides of this woman and where she comes from.
Because I would love to have seen what
yes,
happened when she entered the house, if I'm honest.
Yes.
And her interaction.
Exactly.
You playing
yes,
you playing you,
yes,
or rather you being her out of character.
Exactly.
Because it was intriguing, but I really wanted to know where this change of appearance came from.
Yes.
And you kind of is hinted at that, but
that's why the question mark is after who.
Yeah.
Who is this woman?
Yeah.
That's how it is right now, but you would see even more of who she was in the feature.
Right.
This is to grab the interest and to really see this character.
And I would love to know explain what's driven her to be this alter ego. There's nothing nasty about her. I mean, far from it. She's like an outgoing,
outrageous character.
Outrageous extrovert. But I haven't been to New York, but I imagine there's a lot of people like that.
Yes.
And when the door closed, rather, because I think the final shot is the final door closing. I can't remember now, but I was kind of thinking, well, I want to know where this is going. But of course,
well, that's good.
Yeah,
that's
it's good. But I suspect you've found a way, or will find a way to flesh all that out.
Absolutely. Absolutely, I'll give more of who she is with the feature. You'll see even more.
And would that be like a serious part of it, because it's quite comical, isn't it?
Oh yes.
But then you could go into a serious mode with her lifestyle, I guess.
Yes, where she comes from right now, where she originally came from in her life and growing up, is a whole different kettle of fish of where she lives now in this beautiful home.
Yeah. So she came. Her background is she had no money, I think.
Absolutely, she did not. No, she did not. No, she married into money. Is what she did, but she misses her lifestyle in certain ways and certain people she grew up with, even though it was a tough life.
Yeah.
She misses that openness. She could say anything, do anything. She misses that openness, and that's part of her escape out onto the streets of New York. She can just let loose, totally let loose, because she's not particularly happy of having to be a certain way certain type of person, living a certain way. She wants to just let loose. And that's why she hits the streets like she does, as another person.
And there's all sorts of questions I've got here.
Yes.
One is the husband doesn't got a clue.
No one knows. That's why the great
Another juicy story about what's going to happen when he finds out.
That's right.
And why. And the first question he's going to ask, of course, which will be, well, why are you doing it?
Yes.
And there's something, I assume, I'm putting words into your mouth here, intrinsically unhappy in her marriage that's making her or giving her the desire to do this.
Exactly. And she just loves, just to let go and speak to people of every walk of life. That is just her inside. She just loves people. She always did. She loves to let loose. She has a great sense of humor, but she has to live such a different lifestyle now where she lives, and her husband is very set in his ways of how he wants her to be around his business people, around everyone that comes to the home for dinner and so on and so forth. She can't really let loose like she'd love to do.
Do you think she's a tragic figure? Because I kind of got that impression a little bit as well.
In a way, I can see how people would think that, yes. And that's what makes her go loose. People love her on the street. She's such a character. But they don't know the behind the scenes of who she really is.
And why did you could have given this woman any kind of character?
Yes.
But why in particular did you decide to make her
Doreen.
as dare I say, as outrageous as she is? I guess it's because it's a complete antithesis of her normal lifestyle, which is an awful thing to say in inverted commas, but there must be a particular reason you chose to go down that path, because you didn't need to, but you did, and perhaps you can explain why.
Well, she's Doreen, the character. She had to be someone unique, someone no one would ever recognize her. Excuse me, no one would ever recognize her because she didn't want anyone on the streets to know her, from her husband or anyone that shows up at the home. If she ever ran into them on the street, no way does she want anyone to recognize her. So she can let loose and be who she was at one time underneath it all. And also, she will approach the poor on the streets. She came from nothing. So not only is she outrageous and saying anything and attracted to all men on the street and saying whatever she wants to say, and to the poor on the street, the homeless people on the street, her heart goes to them as well because of what she came from.
She's been through, yeah.
So she really is able to let loose and go to those people that she doesn't have whatever she is not given when she is home with that persona she has to come across with. So when she becomes that character, no one knows who she is. She can do whatever she wishes to do and enjoy her life with those people again and go and try and help. She will try and help anyone she can help too.
Yeah, and
yes.
Cowboy Man and Handsome Man, if you don't mind me.
Pardon me?
Well, I would call them Handsome Man and Cowboy Man. Well, Handsome Man is a guy that goes
cowboy.
on the naked cowboy, and Handsome Man on the escalator.
Yes.
They obviously they were part of the gig, of course.
Of course.
But where did you get both? Because I believe that the cowboy is actually real, and he actually does exactly what he does in New York.
Yes, he does.
And
he was a very good sport. He was game for it to be in this.
Right.
Lovely person. We had lots of fun, and as I did with the man that played the businessman.
Where did you get him from? Was he a bona fide actor?
He's also an actor.
He is, right.
He's also an actor, yes. He's also an actor, and someone that I actually knew.
Right, okay.
And he was game to do it, which was wonderful.
And I love his stoic reactions, like completely blank faced.
Yes.
He must have known there's a woman screaming behind him. But what was amusing is he just carries on, which is obviously part of the story.
Absolutely.
The story.
Yes, it was wonderful.
And I know you said that this could be going all kind of directions in terms of a feature or webinar or web series,
Yes.
But what would you like to do next with her? What's the big idea in terms of where you'd like to go?
Well, there are a couple of things actually. To make it more of a feature film, to go on the web, and to actually put Doreen out there,
Right.
the character herself out there. I've got many ideas. I've actually written treatments for reality type of shows
Right.
with my character.
Yeah.
Different ideas that I've written about. I need to put out there to try and grab interest in the character. And I just think she has a lot to give. I really do. And I've been to different film festivals in the sense of hitting the streets, talking to people on the streets as a character, and to get the feedback on how people feel. I wind up being interviewed by people. I've been on TV interview. You know, they interviewed the character on the street.
Yeah.
And it's been wonderful. They love her. They love her, and they wonder where they can find her. They want to find Doreen on a show somewhere, and so on. It's wonderful.
Has she taken over your life to the point of, I'm trying to work out how to frame this question, that sometimes when you're alone or at home or whatever, although you absolutely love doing this character, and
I do.
Of course, you're
She's
going to move
lots
on
of
with
character.
But is there a point where you start to think, brilliant, but actually it's a little bit too much? Have you not reached that point? Because I get, the example I'm trying to use is someone like Barry Humphries when he plays Dame Edna Everage.
Yes.
Sorry. And you kind of get because he does it less, and this might be down to age, I don't know.
Yes.
But I wonder if there's a point that you may well reach that you've thought about where she becomes everything. Does that kind of make sense? Because I guess you don't want to go too far because it will take over everything and stop you doing other projects. That's probably the question I'm kind of asking, I guess. Well, I can see where you're going with this, and I can see how you'd want to expand on this, but would it be to the point that it takes over every other project that you want to do, or is this it? Is this purely the one project that you want to fly with without getting involved in any? So, for instance, are you looking at projects where you don't use her as a character, but you'd carry on acting as an actor?
Oh, absolutely.
Does that kind of make sense?
Oh, absolutely.
Because she's
I
kind of
love
taken
acting.
over everything, isn't she?
Oh,
Or potentially.
Right now, of
yeah.
course, that's a real focus on me right now. But would I turn down other work? Doreen will always be there. I will continue on with Doreen, my character. But if I was to be given another acting role in the meantime, of course, if it's something that draws me to it, absolutely I would do it. But my focus right now just happens to be Doreen.
Yeah.
Because I really believe she has something to give. She is such a type of character that could do a lot of good and travels. And Doreen loves to travel. Doreen has been to Paris, London, of course. She's been to Toronto, the film festival there on the streets, meeting people. I mean, she's been in the US, Canada, Italy, France, the UK. I mean, she's been everywhere. And the people love her.
And although she's a mix of characters,
Yes.
is there a Doreen that you know, or a kind of Doreen? Perhaps another way to frame the question is, if I was to go to New York,
Yes.
and not necessarily be in Times Square, is she the kind of character that I would eventually run into, or sooner rather than later? Are there people like that? I suppose there must be.
Other people like Doreen?
Yeah, there must be.
There's only one Doreen. There's only one. There is only one Doreen. And she is different from any other people you will see around. I make it that way.
And I was looking at the faces of people that aren't anything to do with it, and what's very interesting is their reaction.
Yes.
So when she's being Doreen,
Yes.
when Doreen is Doreen, or rather when you are Doreen,
Yes.
I took a great deal of time to see people's reactions around,
Yes.
and it was very interesting, and they were all laughing and smiling. So they obviously,
Yes.
because I don't know if you shot this like a guerrilla film, I have no idea, but they weren't in on it, obviously.
Yes.
But it was lovely to see that, and to see their reaction. There was nothing to do with it.
Thank you, that's very nice.
Yeah, and that was quite intriguing to see that. And I do understand why you're doing this, and it's a really clever idea. And perhaps it's not about the feature, but the series. I mean, that could be endless, couldn't it? The series could be going any kind of direction.
Yes,
and
absolutely.
The kind of development you'd have.
Yes.
So what kind of interest have you had in terms of people in the industry that could take this further? I mean, have you had any kind of reaction from, I don't know, producers or investors or anything, and they said, well, okay, come on, we're interested in this, tell us more, show us more.
Wanting more detail.
Yeah,
Yes,
have
exactly.
you had anything like that?
They're wanting more detail
Right.
on the character. I've had some very positive responses, but I'm trying to get her out there even more so. It's tough, of course it's tough in this business to really, to really reach out to, it's all connections, as you know.
Oh, yeah.
It's all connections to be able to really, really get her out there the way I'd love to do it.
Yeah.
So I'm doing a lot on my own. I know what I want. I know where I'd love her to go. But I have gotten such positive response from people. So it's just to get it into the right hands. I'm getting great response. So I'm just hoping that person or those people walk forward to Doreen, because she's got a lot to give. A lot to give.
With the actual film itself, how difficult was it to put all that? Because basically you're the power behind the throne. It's your film, frankly, isn't it?
Yes, it is. I wrote it, I produced it, I performed it.
Yeah, I think it was pretty much, I know there was editing and you had a director, but pretty much it's all down to you.
Yes, I created it all.
Yeah, yeah. How hard was it to actually put this project onto film, and how long did it take? And was it the kind of project, looking back, it was harder or about, did it go the way you planned it to go?
In the end, yes, but it was a tremendous amount of work. I mean, I basically did everything.
Yeah.
The locations, dealing with it was the first short film I had ever produced. I've been in them, but I had not produced.
Yeah.
So that was quite an experience as well, and especially Times Square in Manhattan, getting the go-ahead on this and on that and all the rest of it.
Could you have done it? I know you obviously did do it legitimately, but could you have done it without permission? I suppose there's all kinds of problems if you do that, if something goes wrong.
Well, I made sure I checked before I did anything.
Yeah.
That's the way I am. I mean, if I'm going to do it, I want to do it right.
Yeah, yeah.
I checked with everything from the police to this to that to you name it.
Yeah, yeah.
They knew where it was going to happen, when it was going to happen, so on and so forth. And everything was above boards, which is the way I want to do things.
Yeah, because things are all fine until something goes wrong.
Exactly.
Then you're in trouble, aren't you?
Exactly.
Yeah.
No, you have to do it right if you're going to do it.
And is that a long drawn out procedure to get all that in place, or was it quite straightforward?
It took time. But it happened. Made sure it happened, and I wasn't going to do it until I knew what I was doing wasn't going to be a problem.
Yeah.
Which it wasn't.
Yeah.
So in the end, everything worked out, and I met some wonderful people finding the location for the final scene.
Yeah.
They were wonderful, wonderful.
Was that like upstate New York?
It was a couple of hours north of New York.
Right.
Yes.
And they were happy for you because.
They were very nice people.
Yeah, because it was just an external shot. You don't even go in.
No, it was all external. Yes.
Yeah.
That's right.
And
I met some wonderful people. I could have gone to different homes. They were giving me the go-ahead on it. It was wonderful.
Is there a home in the Hamptons we can use? That'd be nice.
Honey, that's a beautiful one.
Yeah. That's it. Thank you very much.
Thank you
Nice. So much, and it was lovely as ever to talk to you.
A green rickshaw. Have you seen my green rickshaw driver, honey? Where's the green rickshaw, sweetheart? Do you know where the rickshaw drives? Maybe you might know, sweetheart. Oh, I'm telling you, it's unbelievable. Oh, but I don't know where he is. Well, she's a queen of the Big Apple. That's who you're looking at. The queen of the Big Apple. The best is yet to come, dear. The best is yet to come. Oh, the biggest now. Wait for me, wait for me, wait for me, wait for me. Who do I hear singing?
Well, I started off in New York City, playing songs.
Naked, naked. Oh my God, I can't believe it. Oh my God, I cannot believe it. Oh, it isn't he handsome. Oh, I've got to go get myself. I gotta go.
Well, I'm naked cowboy, keeping the remote. Hey, look who it is. Let me take care of this one. Oh, wow, she's the best. All right, look at this thing. Oh, I want to make out. Oh, she's. Oh, my God.